Hey guys, Adrienne Green here, and today we have with us Tevin Holder.
Hey guys.
She is one of the buyer's agents on the team, and she's one that specializes in short and midterm rentals here in the Chattanooga area. So today, Tevin is going to share with us all about midterm rentals and what they are and how they are a fabulous real estate investment strategy here in this area.
Yeah, so we have a super great area for midterm rentals. We have a lot of things that brings people here for midterm rentals. I would say the two biggest things here for midterm rentals are traveling medical professionals. We have a lot of hospitals, so we have traveling nurses, traveling doctors, specialists coming in. So we have a big desire for that. And then the next biggest thing I would say is we have a lot of digital nomads. We have kind of that life here. We have the outdoors. We have the nightlife. We have everything that kind of draws people here. They can work from home. We have fantastic internet here in Chattanooga. So that's the two biggest reasons I would say people come here for midterm rentals.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. We've got travel nurses and we have some of these digital nomads. I think the other thing that people are doing these midterm rentals for is when they're moving to or from the area and either their house is being built or they move to the area. We have so many people moving to all of Tennessee and specifically Chattanooga from out of state. So they figure they're going to move here and then find a house when they're here. And the midterm rental is really good for that.
I definitely agree. Definitely. We even have a lot of people just when they're coming to scout out Chattanooga, they want to be here for a month or so just to be looking for their next house.
And that's a good point. So let's talk about what is the definition of a midterm rental?
Yeah. So a midterm rental is any rental 30 plus days. So to be counted as a midterm versus a short term, it has to hit that 30-day mark.
Right. And furnished usually, right?
Definitely furnished. It's essentially a short-term rental, just 30 plus days. So it's furnished, coffee maker, whole 9 yards.
Yeah. So imagine a furnished house like you might find on Airbnb. It's just that the minimum stay is 30 days. So people can come here, let's say they're even moving, they can leave all their stuff in storage, or they're a digital nomad or a travel nurse who just brings a suitcase.
Correct.
Now, are there any regulations or permits or areas that people have to pay attention to when they're looking for a midterm rental?
So luckily, not with the midterm rental. You don't have to follow any ordinances versus like you do when you have a short-term rental. So as long as, like I said before, it hits that 30-day mark, 30 plus days, you don't have any guidelines to follow.
And that's really powerful because, here in the Chattanooga area, there are a lot of in a lot of markets, there's a lot of regulations about certain areas or certain zoning types or things like that you can do a short-term rental. And you take that whole consideration off the table and that opens up the entire area to you for a midterm rental.
Correct.
That's really powerful. And I guess the other questions that we get a lot for people looking at a midterm rental is what are they expecting to make on a midterm rental? Like, why would they bother furnishing a house?
Yeah, so here in Chattanooga in these AB class areas, we're seeing anything. It's obviously a little more than long-term rental, if you have a long-term tenant in there. So we're seeing like $25,000 to $30,000 a month for those nice furnished AB class areas.
Right. And that's generally, we say like a 25% increase over what you'd make as a long-term rental. So again, that's a percentage increase on your long-term rental night. So that's going to be a bigger dollar value on a higher priced place, which is why, Tevin says A or B class. On a C class place, there's a lower price point. That increase may not be offset by the cost of furnishing and everything, or you just want to also look at things on the timeline. So Tevin, when somebody's looking at a furnished rental for short or midterm rental, how are their numbers going to look the first year versus subsequent years?
We recommend holding it at least, 4+ years. That's where you're going to hit your return is, year 2, year 3, that's going to be your sweet spot in return. So definitely don't do a shorter midterm rental unless you're going to plan on holding it for at least 2 or more years.
Yeah. And that's not unique to the Chattanooga area.
No,
right?
that is, we recommend that across the board,
Yeah, that's best practice is just considering that price of furnishing and the learning curve that always comes the first year. So that's fabulous. So I think we've learned a lot about midterm rentals here. I guess the one other question that comes to mind, is there any specific part of town where you think people are like, definitely do a midterm rental or definitely don't?
So I definitely say anywhere in close proximity to hospitals, that's going to be definitely a thumbs up. I don't think there's anywhere that I wouldn't recommend a midterm rental. Anywhere near like a park or a hiking trail. So Red Bank's really big for the midterm rentals just because we have all the trails and hikes there. But yeah, I don't think there's anywhere that I wouldn't buy for a midterm rental.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, there's so many people coming to the Chattanooga area and looking for something like this. The one thing I'm thinking, I'd love to hear your thoughts on, is honestly, it's even price point, because I'm thinking like, okay, digital nomads. A lot of times that's, a couple who's in their 20s or 30s, so maybe a smaller place. But then I'm thinking about for our families who are moving here and wanting a place while they are looking for a house. Like if I when I moved here, if I hadn't already bought a house, I would need at least 3 bedrooms for my pack of a family.
Right.
So I really think even up to 4 bedrooms could do very well as a midterm rental.
I do too. Yeah, I definitely think, like you were speaking, the couple, the digital nomad, they need just a 2-1, a 2-2 maybe. But then, like you said, we need those 4-2s as well for the families coming here who are looking to buy their next house.
Yeah, so I think all of that would be great. I think the other pro tip we would have, and it's the same thing we say for rentals across the board, but pet friendly.
Yes.
I know you've run into that with rentals before,
Definitely.
Helping advise clients, if you wanted to touch on that a bit.
Yeah, so I was reading an article back when I started helping people lease out their properties after they bought. Over 79% of the U.S. people who are renting right now have a pet. So,
Over 79%?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
So yeah, I would definitely, of course you can charge your pet fee, but definitely make it to where pets are allowed.
Mm-hmm. And that would touch into renovations. Like if you're doing any renovations, let's avoid carpet. Let's do all hard surface floors. But, people will pay a notable pet deposit, even non-refundable. They'll pay that pet rent. You're really just going to have a much higher occupancy rate, and I think also a higher nightly rate with those extra fees if you're pet friendly.
Definitely.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Thanks, Tevin. Thank you guys for watching. And let's go ahead. All our contact information is below. So if you're interested in investing in the Chattanooga market, short, mid, or long-term rentals, reach out. We'd be happy to help.
Yeah.